Yeah, I could see she couldn't see out of it like the last 30 seconds, so I'm surprised they didn't stop it straight away, because that's why I was pointing at. There was no way the doctor was letting her out with that eye.
Just seconds after her brutal victory, Dakota Ditcheva stood inside the cage, calm, collected, and dangerous. The crowd in Newcastle was still on its feet when she dropped the coldest line of the night. "I just cleared her thoughts." That wasn't confidence, that was dominance. Moments earlier, Malin Hermansson had promised to end the hype train. Instead, she ended up trapped in a choke she never saw coming. One blink, one squeeze, and it was over. The undefeated British prodigy had just added another finish to her perfect record. But here's the thing, this win wasn't just another highlight for Dakota Ditcheva, it was a statement. A warning to every woman in the PFL flyweight division: she's evolving, she's unpredictable, and she's coming for everyone. Because when Dakota said she cleared her thoughts, she wasn't just talking about Malin Hermansson, she meant every future opponent who still thinks she's just a striker. And if you think this fight was wild, wait until you see what's coming next.
How would you describe it if someone said like, "Hey Dakota, what's it like having all this attention?" What do you tell them?
If PFL aren't looking, then I'll probably say I hate it. But it comes with the job, you know. This is how I'm gonna, you know, build my brand and become a superstar, I suppose.
Hit that subscribe button, because the storm around Dakota Ditcheva is only getting started. Right after the fight, the arena was still shaking, people were shouting, lights were flashing, and Dakota Ditcheva stood in the center like nothing could touch her. She had just beaten Malin Hermansson in a way that felt cold and clean. No wild bragging, no drama. Just a steady look and a line that cut through the noise. She said she cleared her thoughts. That line hit hard because it matched what we saw. Malin came in talking big, saying she would end the hype. But when the cage door locked, Dakota turned all those words into silence. You could feel it in the crowd. They weren't just cheering a win, they were reacting to control. Dakota didn't look winded or worried. It felt like she had planned every second. She didn't need to throw wild punches to prove anything. She just picked her moment, grabbed it, and finished with calm force.
I believe that she will pass the skies. I do believe that she is the kind of a superstar. When I say that, doesn't mean, you know, to the head, but what she can go.
Fans stared at each other like, did that just happen? Yes, it did. And the reason it felt so heavy is because it wasn't luck. It was skill, patience, and an edge most fighters never find. The best part, everyone knew she had another gear if she needed it. Before that cage even closed, the heat was already there. Malin had said the things you say to get in someone's head. She called Dakota beatable and said she would win if she played her cards right. It sounded confident, it sounded bold. But while Malin raised the volume, Dakota lowered hers. When asked about the trash talk, she didn't bite. She said Malin looked nervous at the face-off. She mentioned the twitching, the little tells that give away doubt. That's the kind of detail only a hunter sees. Dakota wasn't angry, she was awake. She knew pre-fight words don't land the punches. She knew pressure eats the loud if they can't back it up. That's why her tone stayed cool. She said she didn't need to prove anyone wrong. She only had to prove herself right. That's a scary mindset, because it means she fights for something deeper than pride.
Again, there's a reason why you're getting the attention you're getting, but do you feel a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of envy that you are in the position you're in? And again, not like they handed you anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. There is definitely a little bit of jealousy, I think, and a bit of frustration from a few fighters.
It means she is not playing a part. She's being herself. The more Malin spoke, the smaller her words felt next to that calm. Fight night felt big the second you saw the arena. Newcastle was loud, but it wasn't wild. It was focused. This was PFL Europe's debut, and Dakota was the face on the poster. That matters. It adds weight. It makes every step feel like it counts more than usual. Malin walked first, chin up, shoulders squared, doing the rhythm of a fighter who believes her own message. The crowd gave her respect. Then Dakota walked. No dancing, no extra moves, just that steady pace and locked-in stare. When the ref called them in, you could see the difference. One fighter needed to prove something to the world, the other only needed to do what she always does. The bell rang and the noise turned into a hum.
So it's funny because in Thai boxing, I never thought my clinch was any good. And then it came over to MMA, and now I seem to be using it all the time, so I'll take that one.
Well, you have the European.
Dakota started measured. She did not rush for a knockout. She used her legs, touched the body, checked distance, and read Malin's reactions. The plan was under the surface. You could see it in the way she did not bite at feints. Dakota was looking to set the pace without wasting energy. That is the mark of a fighter who trusts her timing more than her power. 3 minutes in, the fight changed shape. People expected a striking clinic. That's what Dakota is known for. Sharp hands, heavy kicks, and timing that punishes mistakes. But instead of chasing a big punch, she clinched. It looked simple. Forehead pressure, underhook, a short knee that dug into the body. Malin tried to push off and reset, but Dakota didn't give her space. She slid to the hips, turned her shoulder, and hit a clean takedown like she had been doing it for years. You could hear a quick "oh" from the first few rows. That was the sound of surprise. On the ground, Dakota did not scramble or panic. She held position, moved like a person fixing puzzle pieces, and kept her weight where it hurt.
Along with the fighting as well, which is most important. But yeah, I've kind of just got to go with the flow.
What are your thoughts on Chelsea Hackett's game and what she brings to the table as an opponent?
Perch is a great striker, so I'm looking forward to maybe having a good striking match with her.
She moved from side control to a safer base, waited for Malin to turn, and took the back with both hooks in. No rush, no flinch. The choke came like a door closing. Chin lined up, forearm set, grip locked. Malin's hands fought the pull, but her body told the truth. The squeeze tightened, the tap came, the ref stepped in. It was over before anyone could count to 5. When the ref lifted Dakota's hand, the first thing she did was breathe out like a weight had slid off her shoulders. Then her mom, a former kickboxer herself, came rushing in. They hugged in the middle of all that noise. It felt like the moment the world sees but rarely understands the years behind the win. The early mornings, the long road trips, the days when you don't feel strong but train anyway. In the interview, Dakota didn't make it about being perfect. She made it about being complete.
With her skills and learning, she's still young and learning a lot, especially came to American Top Team, and now she's getting to a different level. You guys going to see a different Dakota on November 29.
She said she is not just a striker. She pointed out that split decisions won't be enough to beat her. That line was polite, but it carried teeth. It meant she expects her rivals to bring more than debates to the cage. It meant finishing is not a bonus to her, it is the job. Fans love knockouts, but this submission told a bigger story. It proved she is growing fast. It told future opponents that planning for one version of Dakota is not enough anymore. Today's version will not be the same as the one they studied last year. That is why the next move from the league hit so hard. People had wondered if PFL had enough names in the flyweight division to match Dakota's pace. Then the news came. 2 tough veterans from the UFC were on the way, Ariane Lipski and Viviane Araujo. Both have fought high-level opponents for years. Both have felt the bright lights and the pressure that comes with them. Lipski, called the Queen of Violence, has that fear factor from a few savage finishes.
And I get it. But like you said, it's a business. Like, we have to be able to sell these fights in order to get paid. Like, if you want to get paid, do something. Like, make your fights, like, exciting or...
Including a knee attack that people still talk about. She is dangerous when she sees blood. Araujo is different but just as serious. She lived in the UFC's top ranks for a long time. She's steady, smart, strong, and knows how to go 3 hard rounds without getting lost. These signings change the story. Now it's not just can anyone in PFL touch Dakota, it's can Dakota handle seasoned opponents who've seen every trick. That question pulls fans in, because experience can slow down hype, or it can wake up a new level in a rising star. But there's another name that sneaks into the talk and makes things even more interesting. Danielle Kelly. She isn't known for stand-up brawls. She's known for the ground, where she ties people in knots and makes them look lost. She is a world-class grappler who has beaten strong MMA veterans in pure grappling matches. The idea of her moving into MMA full-time is enough to make any striker think twice. It's not just about takedowns. It's about control, patience, and a set of finishes most fighters don't train against enough. Heel hooks, knee bars, chokes that feel like quicksand. If Kelly ever shares a cage with Dakota, the puzzle becomes very clear. Can Dakota keep the fight standing long enough to land her power, or can Kelly force her into water that gets deep fast? That kind of matchup is fun because it's honest. It asks both fighters to show their best thing and hide their worst thing. It makes every second count. To understand why Dakota keeps handling pressure, you have to look back. She grew up around combat. She won young in Muay Thai, where you learn balance and timing before you learn swagger. That background shows when she fights. Her feet are set right. Her eyes read tells. She does not chase when she doesn't have to. When she moved into MMA, she brought the sharp tools with her and added more. First it was the hands and legs, then it was the clinch. Now the ground is catching up, and that is scary for the rest of the division. People said she should go to the UFC right away. She didn't. She stayed with PFL and chose to build a path where she could headline, carry a division, and fight often. That choice brought critics. They said the tests would be lighter, but every time she steps in and finishes, the talk gets quieter. Wins shut doors. Finishes lock them. You can see her turning that noise into fuel, and that's what champions do. So how do these possible fights play out? With Lipski, the danger comes fast and sharp. Lipski loves violent moments. She can switch a fight with one clean grab of a limb or a flurry that breaks your rhythm. The key for Dakota would be to manage range. punish rushes with counters, and be smart about clinch entries. Don't give her free grips. With Araujo, the danger is time. She will test your gas tank, your focus, and your ability to win minutes, not just moments. Dakota would need to keep the jab working, cut the cage, and pick her spots to explode. Keep the fight where she is strongest, and make Araujo pay for every step forward. With Danielle Kelly, it's about math. Limit grounded time to almost zero. That means strong sprawls, fast underhooks, smart pivots off the fence, and a kick plan that doesn't give easy catches. If Dakota keeps improving her grappling like she showed in Newcastle, she can turn defense into attacks and make wrestlers second-guess their shots. What makes all of this exciting is the feeling that Dakota is learning at high speed. She doesn't just win and repeat, she wins and upgrades. You can see it in small choices. When to clinch, when to reset, when to press. That growth is what turns a good fighter into a feared one. The division now has real names with real history, and that's perfect. Stars need dance partners. Rivalries make nights feel big. Fans love seeing styles collide. If Dakota keeps finishing, the target on her back will only grow, and so will the crowds. If she slips, even once, the story flips, and that's the risk you accept when you carry a division. Either way, it means better cards, louder arenas, and fights that feel like events. That is what the sport needs, and that is what she is building. In the end, the Newcastle win was more than a highlight. It was a turning point. The striker who used to knock everyone out showed she can end a fight without a single huge punch. She showed patience, control, and a new layer that will make game plans harder to write against her. Malin came in confident and left with a lesson. Against the top, one mistake is enough. Now the road ahead is packed. Lipski waits with sharp edges. Araujo waits with deep waters. Danielle Kelly stands at the edge of MMA with a toolbox that can ruin a striker's night. Somewhere in that mix is the fight that will define Dakota's next year. Can she stay perfect while the tests get harder? Can she carry the belt and still grow? The only way to find out is to keep watching, because this story is moving fast, and the next chapter could flip everything you think you know. Dakota Ditcheva isn't just winning fights, she's rewriting what it means to dominate. Every time she steps into that cage, she shows something new, something sharper. What started as pure striking power has become a complete, dangerous package. Timing, precision, and now, submission skill that nobody saw coming. She's the kind of fighter who grows faster than her rivals can study her, and that's what makes her so terrifying. The victory over Malin Hermansson wasn't just a fight, it was a message. It told the world that Dakota isn't here to take part, she's here to take over. But with new threats like Ariane Lipski, Viviane Araujo, and Danielle Kelly waiting in the wings, the question now is simple: how long can perfection last? Every champion eventually faces that one opponent who tests everything they've built. For Dakota, that test might be closer than anyone thinks. The only thing we know for sure is that the storm around her is far from over, and when it hits again, you'll want to see it first. If you love stories about rising stars, shocking finishes, and the making of a legend, hit that subscribe button, because Dakota Ditcheva's story is just getting started.